Author, another word that means professional procrastinator.
Welcome to Not Safe for Words. I'm your host, Crystal L. Kirkham, multi-genre author, editor, and cover designer. I'm here to give you insight into the world of publishing and to help you avoid the mistakes that others have made. So stick around, you're in for one hell of a ride where I don't curb the curses.
When I first decided to start this podcast, one of my plans was to talk about some of the subjects that not everybody talks about when it comes to being a writer and professional author. And while this topic is on professionalism, we're not talking about what happens when you become a professional author, when you're actually getting paid, and the wonder and horror of all of that. No, we're actually going to talk about how to be professional as a writer and author. And this is something that starts long before you ever sign the first contract, before you self-publish the first book. Because it seems a lot of people miss the memo that when you're out there interacting with people, you're fucking representing your author brand with every tweet, every post, every interaction. Every time you respond to somebody's game or political post or religious post, you are not just representing you as a person. You're representing all your past, current, and future work. Now, some of you out there might be thinking, well, who fucking cares? This is who I am. Take it or leave it. Those are my books. They represent my ideas. That's fine if that's the attitude you want to take. I will never be the person to tell you that you are not entitled to your opinion, because you are. We all are. But when you're putting shit out there, it's not just potential readers who are going to be seeing it. These are publishers, agents, editors. These are people who can really affect your career if you want to be a published author. So think about that for a minute. Now, I'm not actually going to give you a full minute to think about it, but keep it in the back of your mind as we continue here. Now, we're also going to talk about what it actually means to be professional. When it comes to your author brand, which is something we'll talk about in our next podcast, that level of professionalism is going to actually vary a lot. But there are some things that are going to be constant no matter what persona you put forth as an author. Number one, treat people with fucking respect. If you're talking to somebody the way you don't want to be talked to, chances are, you're kind of lacking a little on the respect there. And I know there's a lot of, let's be honest, there's a lot of fucking assholes out there to deal with who are going to try and drag you down to their level and get you into arguments. Don't do it. Don't be that person. Have an action plan. Figure out how you're going to deal with these people long before you ever encounter them. Figure out if you want to go in with a bold, brash attitude, whether you just want to hit the ignore, mute, block, whatever you want to do. Think about it. But whatever you do, don't sink down to the level of name calling, of acting like an asshole yourself, because acting like an asshole generally isn't in most people's author brand. Generally, let's be honest, there's a few out there that being an asshole is part of their brand. Not sure how well it works for them. The other thing you're going to want to think about is when you're dealing with things behind the scenes. Don't throw hissy fits. It may seem like a stupid thing to mention, but if you get angry about something, if you're pissed off about a review or editor feedback or beta reader feedback, step away, count to 10,000 if you have to, before responding. Once again, it comes down to respect, courtesy, treating human beings like fucking human beings. You've just got to be a decent person, and it's really not that hard to do. Although you spend enough time on social media, you'd think it was the most difficult task in this world. Another part of professionalism and being a writer I want to touch on is dealing with your fellow author. I've seen a lot of people come into this game treating everybody out there like they're the competition, and somehow still wanting to try and be their friend. But if you come in with the attitude that everybody's your competition, and that's a lot of fucking writers, guys, because you have no idea the amount of writers out there trying to make it, then you're never gonna really make friends in the writing community. And maybe you think you have enough friends that are writers as it is, and you don't need to make any more. But keep in mind, a lot of authors out there also become editors, start working for publishers, decide to become agents, and you never know who those authors are friends with. For those who have listened to the teasers, not just the full episodes, you may remember the very first thing I mentioned. People talk. And it's not just the negative shit that they talk about, but it's the good stuff too. And authors know editors, who know publishers, who know agents. When you have people saying, hey, I know this author, they were a really fucking awesome person and a pretty darn good writer as well, maybe you should take a look at their manuscript. It can get you a lot farther than blind queries sometimes. And I don't mean you need to rely on nepotism, but this is an industry where talent doesn't always mean everything. There's some unbelievable fucking authors out there who don't have agents, who don't have publishers, who can't even get a publisher to look at their work. But oh my God, can they ever write? It's actually a lot about luck, being in the right place with the right people at the right time. So make friends with other authors. Make friends with editors and agents, if you can. And be a good, authentic person. I'm not saying that's going to get you that great big top 5 publishing contract, because chances are it won't. But it's going to get you a lot further than acting like an asshole will. People notice either way. Have them notice you for the right reasons and not the wrong ones. Now, there's one last topic I really want to touch on when it comes to professionalism, and that is your private life. There needs to be some degree of separation between everything going on in your life privately and everything going on in your life professionally. As authors, this is a line that often gets blurred because unless you are writing or interacting under a pen name, some of your personal life is going to slip onto social media. For me, I often talk about my dogs. I often talk about my job, which tends to be a very popular subject because I have some very interesting coworkers. I talk a little bit about my roommate, actually a lot about my roommate, who is one of the most wonderful people in this world. There is a lot of my personal life out there. But one thing you're going to notice is I don't dwell on the negative aspects of my life. And there's a lot of negative aspects of my life. But not everybody needs to know what brings me down. And while it's good to share, to say, you know what, hey, I'm a depression sufferer or anxiety sufferer. I have chronic illness and chronic pain, and I'm trying the best I can. You still have to put it out there in a way that doesn't make it look like you're just screaming for attention, because whether you are or not, people might start thinking you are. Some people don't give a shit what others are going to think, which honestly is a pretty damn good attitude. However, if it affects the potential of your career, if you're only ever putting negative out there, you're not really attracting the right crowd. It's fine to have bad days. It's fine to post and talk and tweet and whatever about your bad day, because that's a part of your life. If you want it out there, put it out there. But make sure you're balancing that with a good dose of positivity. Talk about how beautiful the day was, or talk about how you had a great writing day, or at least put a spin on it where it doesn't look like everything is just the worst thing ever. Nobody really wants to hear that, and I hate to be that honest sometimes, because we all need an outlet. We all need to vent. We all need somewhere to go with those bad days, because trust me, it's not good if you don't. It's not good for you. It's not good for everybody in your life. But as a professional, when you're building your career, nobody just wants to hear the negative. They want to hear the positive too. They mostly just want to hear the positive, and that's what attracts the people to you. It attracts the readers. It attracts other authors, editors, publishers. They want to know that you're a great person to deal with and that you're not going to only dwell on the negative things, that you're not going to go into a spiral every time you get a bad review. That's kind of a part of this industry. So I guess you've probably figured out by now, the biggest thing with professionalism is your attitude. Attitude is everything. Whether or not you're putting out positivity or negativity, make sure your attitude overall is a damn good one. Because even when you're putting out negative things, if your attitude is generally good, you're going to do a lot better. This has been another episode of Not Safe for Words. I hope you found some useful advice here today. If you have feedback on this or any other episode, tweet me or leave a voicemail on Anchor FM. Don't forget to join me next time for more publishing and writing insights. Thanks for listening.